you're doing this for your chickens, you may want to stop right now. One of the worst feelings may be that, hey, you're doing something wrong, and not only are you doing it wrong, you didn't even know that you were doing that wrong. The last thing that we'd want to do is to hurt any of the animals that we're taking care of, whether that be on purpose or even on accident. And right now, it just came clear to us that we are possibly doing that right now by a common thing that many people use for their chickens or livestock in general. And I hope this video puts some awareness out there that you might want to stop doing this. So if you're like us, you may have been using these black rubber bowls, these like tough something, I forget what they're called, but you'll know what I mean. I'll put a little picture up here if this doesn't do it any justice here on the camera. These bowls is what we've absolutely loved using, especially for our water for all of our livestock animals. And we're not the only people that think that. These are all over the farm store. All over, people use these big black rubber bowls all over their farms for their animals. And I'm here to tell you that you might want to second guess using these things. If you're not going to use the black rubber bowls though, which I'm going to explain to you the story of why you might want to ditch them, what are you going to use then? Some people might want to go the plastic route, which we kind of started to stay away from here. That was the point of going to those black rubber bowls. We're going to try something different. We're going to use these galvanized pans here, and we're going to see if this is going to help. And I'll explain what I mean by help right now. So recently we had a story told to us about those black rubber bowls. And it's one that's gonna make you question if you wanna keep using them or not. So there was this family that had to go in and get blood tests. I don't know if it was just a normal checkup or they weren't feeling well. And when they ended up coming back from their blood test results, they realized that there was actually lead inside their bloodstream, which started to scare them. And there's many things that can cause this. It could be the water that they're drinking, it could be food that they're eating. There's a lot of different variables about what's going on. So what they did is they decided to start changing everything that was going on about their house. They started getting really good water filters. They were gonna make sure everything they were gonna eat is gonna possibly have the least chance of getting any kind of extra lead into them to try to see what was going on. They got tested again after that and noticed it was still happening. They were trying to decide what was really in their diet or what was going on that this was causing them to still have these lead results in their bloodstream. And one thing they correlated and realized is that like eggs is a big part of their diet. They eat eggs all the time. They own backyard chickens just like I do, just like a lot of you guys do. And they were wondering, like, could that possibly be anything that has to do with it? And after doing a deeper dive into it, they actually had one of the eggs tested that they eat from their own backyard chicken, which actually resulted in showing that there was lead tracings inside that. So then they had to figure out about, was it their feed or what was going on? They noticed that they used these black rubber bowls, so they decided to look a deeper dive into seeing, like, could those bowls have a high content of lead in them? And is that what's going on? Is that when they're using those for water and their chickens are consuming that water, was that actually causing the eggs that they produce then to have lead inside them, which is, you are what you eat. And that's why it's very important to realize that this is something that could be happening to you as well. And after deciding to change out those bowls, don't use those bowls anymore, they started noticing their lead levels go down. The eggs that their chickens were producing, levels went down, and all of it started to change. So this is by no means a 100% perfect study. This is just one family that was undergoing this and had this happen. But I felt like it was useful information to tell you guys to see maybe you should make the change too. It's gonna be hard to go online to back this study up or to see anything about this because it's never been proven or said anything about. But if you were to look in to see, does rubber contain lead? You're gonna see that yes, it does. And there was actually a study done about kids' playgrounds that use the black rubber mulch compared to playgrounds that just use normal wood shavings and choppings from trees. And it was 2 to 3 times more likely that the rubber mulch playgrounds had lead inside their soil, which just brings me more to believe that rubber, especially dealing with the heat or dealing with the cold and changing temperatures, is only going to emit that even more into whatever you're putting in those bowls, which cannot be good for your chickens and of course, since you're eating a product of those chickens, it's not gonna be good for you as well. It's starting to get warm. Today's actually one of the cold days. It's actually in the low 40s, but we've been having a lot of days touching the 70s now. And I have this clear wrap. I actually took part of it off here for this hoop coop for the splash marins, because that's like a greenhouse effect and I don't want them to like burn up in there. So me opening this up will allow a lot of air passage to come into there, which should make it a lot better for them. But yeah, we're in the home stretch. We're starting to get the warm weather and we are gonna be done with this cold weather. But as soon as it shows up, it starts to go. So we gotta enjoy it while it lasts right now. I know a lot of people are gonna be coming at me right now because they're gonna say you don't have any proof, you don't know if it's true. And I understand that. This is not me telling you, hey, ditch these things as soon as possible if you can. It's just me putting that out there that there's an awareness of it. And if there's other options, I use those galvanized pans, which are like $7. It's like the same price as these. If it can't really be that much of a price change difference, then I don't see the need and hurt that if you're possibly hurting your animals to do the change. The reason I wanted to make the video about these black rubber bowls after I heard this information is because once again, it's not necessarily a hypocrite because I didn't know, but I have a video out there explaining why you should use these bowls, especially for during the winter time, which, man, if I smell this thing right now, and I know it's like farm animal, but you can almost still smell the rubberness to this. But I have a video out there that explains that during the winter time, these are one of the best things you can use, which I still see true, because if you fill it up and it gets frozen, all you gotta do is turn it upside down, smack it really hard, and the ice pops right out, which is by far the easiest solution to frozen chicken water during the winter time. Now with this information out here, I just want to put this extra video out there. Since I have a video explaining why you should use these, I also want to have the video out there that explains that maybe you should forget about using them, which is going to be hard for us during the winter time. It has been something that I thoroughly enjoy using during the winter time because it made it a lot easier. And this might cause us to not be as easy. But like I said, now knowing this information and it not costing us a lot extra, we had to end up going with the change. I never want anything to be to you guys that we are trying to thoroughly lie to you guys, or you guys think that we've lied to you. When we find new information and something that's going on, we process it, we understand it, see, should we make this change? Is it worth doing? Does it cost benefit us? And we have to play all this into consideration. And now knowing this information is why I had to come out and make a video about it. We like to be open and honest with you guys the best that we can when we find out these things and what's going on. And this is one of those. And it looks like it doesn't look like it's throwing them off. They're still drinking from it. What I like about these bowls is you can really see how clear the water is and how clean or dirty it is compared to being in those black bowls, which if it got a little murky or dirty, you might not notice it as much from a view, but this allows you to see like, hey, like this water is really clean right now, we're fine. And I'm sure it's gonna be really easy to clean out as well. So now that I've updated you guys on that, a little update here on our Cooney pigs. They have been doing really good. We find that they have had a lot of enjoyment here in this new area that we have them in. They have a little pond area here where the old pigs that we had here dug a big hole. So every time it rains, they have a nice little spot where they can cool off if it gets hot. They like to talk. They've been doing really good. We're excited. We're excited to keep this journey going with them when we're actually going to start mating them. Huh? Yeah, I'm talking about you. You gonna be a dad? We hope it's all gonna work out. We know that there's a chance that maybe we never have babies show up from these pigs. But it is something, an investment that we're taking, and we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna get ready to move these guys actually to the main flock because we're gonna need this chicken tractor. For anyone who just watched our previous video, we got our shipment in of our meat chicks for half the year. For our first time around, we're gonna do it twice. And they're gonna need this chicken tractor, so we're gonna need these guys to get out of here so that we can use this. I actually have one other kind of structure I think that we can use as a chicken tractor. We're gonna have 22 meat chickens. We've lost a few of them, unfortunately. And I think that 22 chickens inside here, especially as they get bigger, it's gonna be very crammed. So I wouldn't mind splitting them up a little bit and doing like, the other thing's a little smaller. So maybe we'll do, thinking out loud, maybe 14 chickens in there, 8 in the other spot. I am happy to know that even though we've been using those black rubber bowls We necessarily haven't felt anything too bad about us. Our chickens have all been quite healthy. We've never really noticed any of them really to be too sick. So I'm hoping that that means that it's not that bad for us, and who knows, maybe this is just something that was a rare occurrence. Maybe it doesn't happen all the time. But the reasoning behind keeping black rubber bulls after knowing that information just didn't make sense to us. We might as well switch them over to these. It doesn't cost anything extra, like I said. If you're looking, we found these, I think they were on sale for $8, but I don't think they're much more, maybe $12 normally, $11. So if there's some reason why you feel like you're feeling a little more off after having backyard chickens, or maybe go check and see if there's lead going in. We are kind of curious ourselves to see, is this something that has affected us at all? Definitely worth doing a change if it's something that you're thinking about. I hope you guys have a great day and a better tomorrow. We'll see you in the next one.